Hi, welcome back, dear ones, to the new consciousness for the new world. September 2022. What are the energetic themes that are upon us during this month? And what I have to say is, what I perceive for this month is actually something that I perceive throughout autumn and winter. It will continue. And this is, for me, it's like, it feels like the start, or not even the start, but the intensification of something. And this is what you can also see, the intensification of the games that are being played. And this is very, very strong for the upcoming weeks and months. We are going to see games at play. It's really like this big, let the games begin, right? Now, not that they haven't been ongoing anyway, but for now it's more like we will be seeing them. It will become more intense. And this also means that for us, the attraction to become and to stay involved and hooked into the game and actively playing the game, the invitation, the attraction, and the luring into this, we will feel this so strongly during the next couple of weeks and months. That's my perception, right? Now, it is different, obviously, for different people, but in the collective energy, for the majority, this is what it feels like to me. There is this pull into the games that are being played. And I have to word it this way because the reality that we see is always the reality that we interpret. It's not the real reality. It's what we experience. So it's already being filtered through us. This means that whatever we see is changed by our perception already when we see it. And therefore, if we entertain any game, if we play the game, we're part of it, and many of us can feel trapped then in the game during the next couple of weeks and months. And this is my sense also, that at some stage for anybody on the journey of personal and spiritual development, at some stage the internal world becomes more important than the external world. And we are being invited to focus again more on what's going on within us. And while we do this, it's the self-examination, and it's what I always say as well. Any change out there is no real out there, everything is us, right? Everything is the one. While wanting changes out there, we cannot create them if they haven't already been created within us. And the next few weeks and months, in September, October, and the following months, these are opportunities for us. Whenever you feel, oh my God, I can't take any more of this, or this looks so dark, and it looks so hopeless, and it feels hopeless because tangibly our life situations might change, right? Then turn inward and look at what you would like to create instead. And if you cannot find what you're looking for, what you want to live out there, find it in here, because that's where we create from. It is always up to us to change first. And many of us are very, very accustomed and very used to allowing the circumstances, if they're great or not so great, to influence our life, how we feel, how we think, how we are in the world. But this is not true power. True power comes from knowing and feeling who you are, what you want to live, what you want to contribute to this world, how you want to be of service, and then radiating it out and manifesting this out into any circumstance. And yes, the circumstances out there might become more limiting. Freedoms might become more limited. But true freedom inside can never be limited. Only by our own thinking and by our own allowing it to be limited. if we do not allow this, if our freedom internally is infinite, no matter what the circumstances out there, we can experience freedom. And for the next few weeks, whenever you notice this headline, this situation, this change feels uncomfortable, feels painful, feels hard, feels not like what I want, then come back inside. Come back to your source of comfort. Come back to the universe inside. Everything is already within you, right? Find your comfort within. Turn up, so to speak, the stage of the internal world. Like, make this bigger. Allow this to become more the space of your lingering. So your internal universe, your internal world, your internal processes will be at the center of your experience. And this requires, yes, a lot of self-reflection and constant self-surveillance, if you want to call it that, although it's quite a negative word, but self-observation, because we will be tempted to look outside. We will be tempted. We are already, and it's so hard not to be swamped into the games, into the matrix. But we don't have to be. The matrix is a beautiful illusion that is there for us to discover our own true self, our own true power. It's not that we have to fight the illusion to find ourselves. It's that we use the illusion to find ourselves. And unfortunately, oftentimes, it is the tough happenings in the illusion that get us to come back inwards. It doesn't have to be this way. We can learn our lessons easily as well by just realizing what this is about, what the soul's journey is about, what our life is about. And then taking charge of this and creating the changes within us, living the life and the expression of ourselves that we want to live in each and any situation, not when everything is just easy, but especially when things get tough. And they may get tough for some people or for a lot of people in the next couple of months. But there is always a continuation. Like whenever you feel like, I don't like this development, I don't like the results of this development, look beyond. You're on an eternal journey. And yes, this incarnation can seem very important and very real because we see this physical death and it's like, then life is over. Life is not over. This little bit of life is over. But we're continuing. And this path on earth, like life on earth, is continuing, the developments. So whatever you see, especially take comfort in the fact that we see how quickly things can change now in these new times. Right? In terms of when we look at the past, the history, how slowly things have been developing in comparison to now, things can change like that. Like everything can be different in an instant almost, like very quickly. So take comfort in that too. That whatever you see and whatever results and whatever developments there may be, there's always, always the potential for change, rapid change. It's not going to stay that way, especially if it's not what consciousness strives for. But we're being asked to develop our consciousness, to grow within our consciousness, to expand, to explore and realize again who and what we are, and then to bring this consciousness and bring this light of consciousness into the earthly situation and make it brighter, illuminated with our wisdom, with our love and compassion. And if you're wondering, how can I respond internally, like really, really honestly, how can I respond to whatever is going on out there in a helpful way, in a service-focused way, in a loving way? This tip might help you because it helps me. I have to say this helps me because I'm also not yet free of judgment. I'm also noticing reactions to certain things. We're all on a path, right? But what helps me is that I ask myself in any situation when I'm about to react or when I've just reacted to something, right? Some news, something, that I then consciously focus on, is this what I want to feel? No. Do I judge? Yes. Where am I when I'm judging? I'm in myself. I'm in my little self. I'm in my ego self. I'm not in my consciousness, because my consciousness is unconditional love. Do I want to be in my ego self? I can say yes or no. There is no judgment in that. If I say no, okay, and then this, what would love do? And if it's too tough to accept it, to really feel acceptance for everything, which would be the next step, the first step you can do is bless what you've just heard. Bless the people involved. Bless the situation. Like blessing in terms of sending your light to it. Sending your compassion to it. For me, this is the step before acceptance. And sometimes this is easier for a lot of people. So if you hear about some injustice, something, if you are able to bless the situation, also in blessing it because it gets you to become more who you are. You become all of a sudden a person who is not willing to enter judgment. You are using the situation as a catalyst to pull out the best in you, which is, I am going to bless what I would have originally judged. And this makes me more conscious, more me, more what I want to express and be. So thank you for this situation, because it allows me to overcome my limited self, to be able to surpass judgment and send blessing. Wow, in that I grow. I thank that situation. And then I bless every person involved in that situation, every person involved in the injustice. I bless them because I see they're in need of blessing. Otherwise, they would not have this unjust situation or cruel or whatever. So they're in need of my blessing. I see the need for blessing and the need for compassion and understanding and love and light as greater than my need to judge. And by us responding in that way, just imagine all of us more conscious people would do this all the time. The light would, it would have to expand with each circumstance. And this is what we are being asked to do, if we want that. If we want to expand within our true selves, within our spreading of the light and love. This is what it is. It's not just about talking nice things and listening to great stuff. It's about real stuff in the real world, in our real internal world. It's about every situation in every day, using it to explore, who am I in this situation when confronted with this, when put into that situation, when faced with this challenge? Who am I? And we can do this. So this might be helpful to you now, to try whenever you notice that you're being triggered and you want to react, or you have just reacted. At any point in time, you can become conscious and aware and say, do I want to be on autopilot, reacting, responding? Or can I use this to become aware and awake, and then to respond the way I would want to? Because I'm light, because I am love, because I am unconditional, I'm going to bless this, and I'm going to thank this, and I am going to see this for what it is. It's an opportunity for me to become aware of the truth about myself and about what all of this is about. Okay, so this is what I'm going to leave you with for September and the next couple of months. We're being invited to get out of the illusion, to get out of the matrix, to see it for what it is. It is all an opportunity for us to become more aware and awake, and for us to expand our light and our love. Okay, I'm going to love you and leave you for today, and we'll talk again next time if you want to.